Well, thanks for joining us again today for this brief Rhetorica session at the desk with a communication expert. I'm delighted today to have with us Mark Hodgson. Mark is a global partner in the thought leaders movement, is about to go to Europe to kick off the program over there, and I'm looking forward to hearing what Mark has to say about that. Mark also has postgraduate qualifications through the Australian Graduate School of Management's MBA program, is a specialist in transformation, and but really, Mark, your passion is about helping experts commercialise. Is that right?
Thought leadership is one of those terms that I guess has entered that business lexicon where it's it trips off the tongue of many people, because it kind of sounds cool and trendy. But probably, if you ask many people what they mean by it, they probably couldn't go any further than that. It's an of the moment kind of expression. Our focus at Thought Leaders, though, is on the reality that ideas, as we all know, there's a million good ideas that are thought up every day in coffee shops and on beanbags around the planet. But if they're not actually implemented and put into practice, then they're just hot air. So our focus at Thought Leaders is absolutely on putting a commercial filter across ideas. So we say that we're about helping clever people to become commercially smart. So that's all about the applicability of the idea. And whilst money isn't everything, it's just one currency and one form of measurement. We feel it's a pretty good starting point to, I guess, if you like, to weed out those ideas that are just lovely ideas and those that are actually going to be the solution to someone else's problems, which obviously is where the value transfer takes place and where the rubber hits the road as such. The other thing with thought leadership, it can sound incredibly lofty, and a lot of people get into this kind of not good enough position where they think, well, I need to be Einstein, or I need to be really, really unique or exceptionally clever, like a Richard Branson or a Steve Jobs, that kind of thing. And that's just not the case. I mean, there are lots of ways that we can help people to niche into their uniqueness. Communication, as I think in thought leadership, as in everything, it's everything. You can have the best ideas in the world, and you can even have the best commercial model in the world, and you can have people who value the idea, but pulling all this together, combining that all together, has got to be communication. And it's one of the we have a matrix called the 9 Essential Skills Matrix, which is a 3x3, a bit like Sudoku.
Right.
And
you play with it when you're going to sleep at night.
Exactly, and we thought leaders, we love models, and modelling is a beautiful part of how we actually help make more elegant people's ideas and really crystallise them and capture them. Yeah. But the skill of communication sits right bang in the middle of that matrix. So if it was noughts and crosses, you'd be right in the middle. That's the key button, is communication. And the reason there's two aspects to that we teach. The first is around clarity. So we and this would resonate with a lot of your kind of teaching, Antoni. People, the people we work with, our clients, our mentees, we help them to be 100% clear on exactly what their proposition is. Once we've got that clarity, then the second thing we help people do is to be able to be flexible in the delivery of that message, and in such a way that it can be scaled up and down in terms of how formal or informal it is, but also it can be steered into multiple channels. So it might be an authored piece, it might be an interview, it might be a training workshop or a coaching or a facilitation session, whatever. So the same beautiful thinking can be delivered in a way that it's always received in its entirety, or as clear to its entirety as it's possible, through the clarity, and steered through those multiple channels. So communication, absolutely key. The biggest problem, I think, for consultants who don't have clarity is really like they sell themselves short, because and for two key reasons. Firstly, they will tend not to be able to communicate clearly what exactly is their proposition, what their solution is, and therefore, as in most things, you haven't got a clear proposition. It's hard to find the maximum amount of value in it. And in simple language, you can't charge as much as other people who do have that clarity.
Okay.
The second thing we find with a lot of consultants, the mistake that many make, is they tend to pigeonhole themselves. So they'll define themselves as a trainer or a coach or a facilitator.
Yeah.
And what we say is that's fine, and those are all great things. But why would you pigeonhole yourself if you can actually define your offer as a set of thinking that can be delivered in multiple channels? Then just in the pure maths of spreading your spreading your channels. If you can deliver your message into 6. We call them modes. If you can deliver into 6 modes of speaking, authoring, facilitating, training, mentoring and coaching, as opposed to just one of those, it's pretty easy to see it's going to be easier for you to make more money rather than just being seen as, oh, he's a trainer, I only want him as a trainer. I don't need a trainer, I need a coach. I won't talk to him or her. Look, what we say is that the traditional, I think you mentioned in your question, the traditional ways of marketing, there's a lot of push element in them, and by enabling and helping and equipping our clients to become thought leaders, and which means thought leadership in their marketplace, which might be very small and niche. That's fine, but by having position, you actually attract clients towards you. So, for an analogy we would use, so for example, if you're looking for a brain surgeon, if you've got a rare kind of disease, you'll find the best brain surgeon in Sydney or in Australia or the world or wherever. Sometimes the world, people will travel the world to find the best brain surgeon who can deliver that particular piece of expertise. And that's kind of an exaggerated example. If you can position yourself as the go-to person on whatever that thing is, because there can be any kinds of things, then it's easy to see that if you can have customers coming to you, two things happen. One is that it's a much more pleasurable business experience when you've actually got people coming to you and seeking your expertise. And secondly, you're not having conversations about price.
Yes.
So you're actually able to charge more. Now and what I've just described is a simple premise. But there's a fair bit in achieving it. But it can be done, and the courses we teach have proven that. We've got people who go through this, and they are able to position themselves as thought leaders in a niche market, and people come to them, and they're able to make really good livings. Yes, we've decided to take the offering back to the UK and Europe. Because no one's actually doing it there, so it's an exciting new marketplace for us. And I think actually, bizarrely, all the challenges that are going on in Europe in terms of Eurozone and GFC and all those kind of things, in a way, I think this offering could be really could resonate at a time when I think there is a need for clear thinking and new ways of thinking. So yes, we're travelling to London and at the beginning of 2012. And yes, we're going to be launching Thought Leaders UK, which is really exciting. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Excellent.